morning students. Today we will start with one of our another chapter in geography in class 7. Our chapter number 4, that is air. Now students, all of you know this thing very well that we need oxygen to survive. Where is that oxygen present? That oxygen is present in atmosphere. So in this chapter we are going to study about the importance of atmosphere because the air is also present in atmosphere. So let's begin students. The earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air and it is called as atmosphere. And as I already told you that all living beings needs this layer, needs this atmosphere to survive. If atmosphere will not be there, then human beings or living beings cannot survive. Because the air we breathe, that is the oxygen and the other gases also are present in atmosphere also. And second thing, the ozone layer which protect us from the direct rays of the sun rays is also present in atmosphere. Thereafter student, composition of atmosphere. In composition of atmosphere we will study about the various gases which are present in which quantity or which are present in which percentage in our atmosphere. Student, you can see here in this pie chart that the maximum amount of gas that is present in bulk or that is present in large quantity in the atmosphere is nitrogen, which is 78%, and the second largest quantity of the gas which is present in the atmosphere, which is present in bulk, is the carbon dioxide, is the oxygen, which is 21%. So oxygen and nitrogen, these are the two most, you can say, quantitative gases or the gases which are present in bulk in the atmosphere. And other than these two gases, other gases are also present in atmosphere like argon, like helium, like carbon dioxide, etc. In which we have 0.03% carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. Now students, I have already told you that which gas is present in bulk in the atmosphere, that is nitrogen, 78%, and after nitrogen oxygen is there, that is 21%, then is carbon dioxide 0.03%, and then other gases. So student, you can see here what we have discussed, but that we have already discussed this thing regarding the bulk gases and regarding the other gases. Now see students, nitrogen is the most plentiful gas. What do you mean by plentiful gas? Plenty means which is present in maximum quantity or vast quantity. So nitrogen is present in vast quantity or in plenty quantity in our atmosphere, in the air. And large amount of nitrogen went into our lungs when we inhale oxygen. So sometimes along with inhaling oxygen, nitrogen also went into our lungs. And other than human beings, plants also use nitrogen to make their food. Plant use nitrogen and plant cannot survive without nitrogen. But the thing is that plant cannot consume nitrogen directly from the air. The bacteria that live in the soil and the roots of the plant first of all change the nitrogen that is present in the atmosphere and then use it for the purpose of making food or for some other purposes. What I said nitrogen is used by plants for making food or during the process of photosynthesis also, but plants do not consume nitrogen directly from the air. First of all, the bacteria and the soil converted into nitrates and then plants use nitrogen in the form of nitrates only. Then human beings and animals, we use oxygen and oxygen is released by plants. And plants use carbon dioxide to make their food or for the process of photosynthesis. See students, this is give and take process. How? We human beings, we are releasing carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is used by plants to make their food. in the process of photosynthesis, and on the other hand plants are releasing oxygen. That oxygen is used by us, used by human beings for their survival. So both plants and human beings are interdependent on each other. So thereafter, nowadays you are seeing now that for making buildings, for making roads, we started cutting trees. That is why there is disequilibrium in the economy, disequilibrium in the society. That is the balance got disturbed. So we need to stop cutting trees if we want to make ensure perfect balance. If we want to make ensure that both plants and human beings got satisfied with their needs, that is with the need of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And second, why this balance got upset, why the temperature is rising, why the amount of carbon dioxide is increasing and the level of trees are deducting or trees are decreasing day by day. That is because we are burning many fuels, and we are burning fuels like coal, etc. in the air, which pollutes the air, which pollutes the environment and also disturbs the whole cycle. So for maintaining that balance, we need to grow more and more trees. We need to stop using fuels which are polluting our environment and stop wasting our resources in any of the way, or stop doing all those activities which can harm our environment in any of the way. And this also leads to global warming. What is global warming? That we are cutting trees day by day, and as we are cutting trees, the temperature of the earth is increasing day by day. The amount of heat present on the earth is increasing, which leads to global warming. The next is structure of atmosphere. Students, in our atmosphere, total 5 layers are present, and these 5 layers are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. You can see here, this is the structure of atmosphere. In atmosphere we have total 5 layers. The initial one and the starting one is troposphere, then is stratosphere, then is mesosphere, then is your exosphere, and mesosphere, then is your thermosphere, and last one is your exosphere. So let us study about them in detail. First one is troposphere. Now what is troposphere? Troposphere is the most important layer of the atmosphere. Now why this layer is important? Because the air that we breathe, or the oxygen that we breathe, is present in this layer. Is present in which layer? Is present in troposphere. And all the mechanism or all the phenomena like rainfall, fog, hailstorm, etc. these also occur in this layer only, named troposphere. That is why it is very important layer. Then is stratosphere. Then above troposphere, the second layer is stratosphere. This layer is the layer where we can see the availability of clear clouds, and these are associated with weather phenomena. Weather phenomena means the rainfall is coming or the heat is increasing, fast wind is blowing. All the weather phenomena and the clouds can be seen in this layer. In which layer? Stratosphere, second layer, that is after troposphere. Thereafter, students, I already told you this thing in the starting of the chapter, that ozone layer protect us from the harmful violet rays of the sun. Now the question is, in which layer of atmosphere this ozone gas is present? This ozone gas is present in stratosphere layer. So that is why it is also important for us, as it protects us from the harmful rays of the sun. So thereafter, our third layer is mesosphere. It lies above stratosphere. And what is the role of this layer? What is the role of mesosphere? From mesosphere you can remember the word meteoroids. Now where are meteoroids present? Meteoroids are present in the space. Whenever meteoroids enter inside the Earth's surface, they enter or they come from the space through this layer only, and that is called as mesosphere. Thereafter our next layer is thermosphere. Now what is thermosphere? In thermosphere the temperature rises very rapidly, and as you started increasing with high temperature also increasing. So ionosphere is the part of this layer. Is the part of which layer? Is the part of thermosphere. Thermo also you can remember, for remembrance you can relate it with the word temperature, as I already told you. It extends up to 80 to 400 kilometers, and this layer helps in radio transmission. All the radio signals are transmitted in this layer only. Thereafter our next layer is exosphere. Now what is exosphere? The uppermost layer of the atmosphere is known as exosphere, and this layer has a very thin layer. Light gases, like what do you mean by light gases? That used to float in the atmosphere, like helium, hydrogen. These gases used to float in this layer. So we have discussed about all the layers in detail, students, in this, and I hope you understand all the layers very well. Moving ahead, students. Our next topic is weather and climate. Now see, students, what is the difference between weather and climate? The hour to hour or the day to day changes in the climatic conditions of the atmosphere is called as a weather. For example, nowadays what you are observing, that now it is raining, after some time sun is there, after some time it's again started raining, after some time very huge wind is blowing. So what is that? Hour to hour changes in the atmosphere or day to day changes in the atmosphere. No particular fixed climate is there. That is called as weather. Now what is climate? When for a long period of time a particular weather exists, that is called as climate. For example, if we talk about northern hemisphere or we talk about North India, we are residing in North India. What we used to say summer seasons. In summer seasons usually loo wind blows. So what is that? That is an example of climate, that for these particular time period hot or summers will be there, because that is existing for a long duration of time. So that is climate. Hope the difference between weather and climate is clear to you, students. Thereafter, students, our next topic is temperature. Now what is temperature? The degree of the hotness and the coldness of the air is called as temperature. Whether high temperature is there or whether low temperature is there, that depends on the degree of the hotness and the coldness of air. If the air is hot, temperature is also high. If the air is low, temperature is low. For example, during summers, the degree of the temperature or the degree of hotness of the air in summer, degree of hotness of air in summer is high. So temperature is also high. And during winters, the degree of air is low, and that is why the temperature is also low. And thereafter, students, the temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night. We used to see this thing now, that during in our locality, North Hemisphere, what happened? During daytime, high temperature is there, and at night, low temperature is there or less temperature is there. So temperature not only fluctuates between day and night, but it also fluctuates from season to season. Like if we talk about our area only, we are residing in North India. So in North India we are talking about seasons. Then in summer seasons, high temperature is there. In which season? Summer season, high temperature is there. And if we are talking about winter season or we are talking about rainy season, then low temperature is there. Thereafter, students, an important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Now what is insolation? Insolation means the amount of sun energy that reaches the earth's surface or that reaches the particular surface of the earth is insolation. The amount of sun energy, the amount of solar energy that is reaching the earth's surface is called as insolation. If we are talking about the areas which are located nearby the equator. What does that mean? Amount of insulation is higher there because direct sun rays are falling there, and as soon as you have started moving towards the pole, what does that mean? Direct rays of the sun are not falling there, so solar energy is less. What does that mean? Insulation is also less in those areas. Therefore, the temperature decreases in the same manner. Thereafter, students, our next topic is air pressure. Now, what is air pressure? We can clearly study here that air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the earth's surface. When the air exerts pressure on the earth's surface, then such pressure is called as air pressure. Moving ahead, students, as we go up the layer of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. Remember, whenever you are going towards the mountain areas, air pressure started falling down. That is why we also started problem in breathing, because air pressure started falling down. So as we reach the height level, air pressure reduces. So it is said here, the air pressure is highest at sea level, because this is at bottom level, and as soon as we started moving towards height, as I give you the example of mountains, when we started moving towards height, the air pressure started decreasing. In areas where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises up. Exactly, like if we talk about Rajasthan, temperature is high, so what will happen at that area? The temperature of the air started increases and it's heated up and start flowing away. So this creates a low pressure area. Low pressure is associated with clouded skies and wet weather. What is low pressure area? Where you used to observe cloudy sky and wet areas, where low pressure air is found. The areas having lower temperature, where lower temperature will be there, where cold areas will be there, their lower temperature will be found, and where high temperature will be found, where direct sun rays will be falling. So what he is saying here, that in the areas having lower temperature, the air is cold. That I told you, that is why those areas are cool. It is therefore heavy. That is why the air floats there is heavy. Heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. Always remember this thing. Heavy air sinks down and light air flows up, rises up. In the starting of the chapter, I told you the chapter of some low airs or light airs, light gases like helium, etc. They used to float in there. Thereafter, the air always moves from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. Then our next topic is wind. Now what is wind? The movement of area from high pressure area to low pressure area is called as wind. Now see students, wind is not of a particular time. There are different type of winds, and we used to, like in the form of storm, wind can also be in the form of a storm, or light winds can be there. So we are going to study about different kind of wind in this topic. So we have three type of winds. First one is permanent winds. The permanent winds are those winds that blows throughout the season. That blows throughout the season in particular direction. For example, in north direction or in east direction, those are called as permanent winds because they are blowing throughout the season. For example, easterly winds, etc. because they used to move towards east direction and blows towards east direction throughout the year. Then is your seasonal winds. The name is suggesting itself. These winds blow when particular season arises. For example, monsoon winds. Right now in North India, monsoon is arising, so the winds that is blowing nowadays is an example of seasonal winds. Then is local winds. What are local winds? That are blowing in local area at a particular period of time. For example, example, if we talk about North India only and we take the example of summer season. During summer season, during daytime, very hot wind got blow. And what is that wind called? That wind is called as Loo. So what is that? That is an example of local wind. Moving ahead, students. Thereafter, our next topic is moisture. Moisture, because of the humidity, moisture arises, and during rainy seasons we used to see moisture in our areas. Now what is that? Now let's begin that or study about that. When water evaporates from land and different water bodies, definitely water is present on the land and in different water bodies, heat, because of the light of the sun, this water start evaporating. So what will happen? And after it start evaporated, it became water vapor. And when water got converted into water vapor, moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. That water vapors are somewhere in the sky. They are stick there. So what will happen? That this leads to the formation of moisture. And because of the moisture, we can feel the humidity. The level of humidity nowadays, because rainy season is there, is at its maximum level. You have seen this thing. And during humidity, during the humidity arises or during the humid days, you have clearly seen this thing that as the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapors increases. And what will happen that during these days, if you have seen your mothers also, that when they used to wipe out the clothes, what will happen? The clothes do not dry up very fastly. Why? Because of this humid nature, because of the humidity. So this is how humidity forms. Now when these water droplets of water became too heavy to float in the air, water vapors, water is there, because of the sunlight it got evaporated, it is arising above and it uphold in the air in the form of water vapor. But when these water vapor unable to hold their weight, they got too heavy, it's unable to got float in the air, they got heavy, then what will happen? As I already told you, that when the water vapors, when the water droplets became too heavy to float in the air, they come down as precipitation. They come down on earth in the form of precipitation or in the form of rain. Jet planes flying in the sky leave a wide trail behind them. So up behind all these precipitation levels, all the jet planes used to leave a particular wide trail. We can see trails of these condensed moisture for some time when there is no air movement to disturb it. Thereafter, students, precipitation that comes down to the earth in liquid form is called rain. I have already told this thing to you. Let us just recall the whole concept again. Water is present on the land surface. Water is present in water bodies. Because of the sunlight, this water started evaporating, and after it goes up to the sky, it got stuck there in the form of water vapors. When these water vapors became too heavy to float in airs, it takes the form of precipitation, and after that, as they are unable to hold them in the air, they just fall down on the earth's surface in the form of rain. So most of the groundwater comes from the rainwater. Plants help in preserving water. When trees on hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down. Obviously, because trees are upholding that water. If trees are not there, that water started coming down on the earth's surface. The bare mountains can cause flooding of low-lying areas. If trees will be there, those trees will absorb the water, level will be mountain. But if mountain is bare mountain means availability of no plants. Availability of low plant means there is no source to hold the water. So what will happen? That water will come to the earth's surface, which always leads to the situation of flood in those areas. On the basis of this mechanism, there are three types of rainfall, and these are convectional rainfalls, orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. Now, rainfall is very important for the survival of plants and animals. It brings why it is important? Because it brings fresh water to the earth's surface. If rainfall is less, water scarcity will be there. Scarcity means water lacking. People started facing problem related to water, and when water scarcity is there, there is no availability of water, then what will happen? Situation of drought will arise. Excess of water leads to the situation of flood, and scarcity of water, that is lacking of water, leads to the situation of drought. So on the other hand, it takes the situation of flood. So scarcity of water leads to the situation of drought, and excess of water leads to the situation of flood. And I already told you rainfall is very important for the plants and for human beings also in various ways, and three types of rainfalls are there. And in concept of precipitation, I have already told you, which is one of the very important topic, that in the water bodies or the water which is present on the earth's surface, that used to evaporate because of the sunlight, and it got stuck there in the form of water vapors. And when the water vapors were unable to hold them in the air, they fall down in the form of rain. And that's it about our chapter. Now we will discuss about the question answers of this chapter, students. So let's start. Let's start with the question answer, students. Our first question is, what is atmosphere? In the starting of the chapter only we have covered this concept, that the earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air, and that is called as atmosphere. Our next question is, which two gases make the bulk of atmosphere? This also we have discussed. These are nitrogen and oxygen. The next is, which gas create greenhouse effect in the atmosphere? Greenhouse effect means increase in the level of temperature of the earth. Which gas is responsible for that? Carbon dioxide. Because carbon dioxide is increasing, temperature of the earth is also increases, which leads to greenhouse effect. Then what is weather? That I already told you. R to R or day to day change in the climatic condition is called as weather. Then I told you three types of rainfalls. These are conventional rainfalls, orographic rainfall, and cyclonic rainfall. Then what is air pressure? This also we have discussed, that the pressure exerted by the weight of the air on the surface of the earth is called as air pressure. Then you have tick the mark. Which of the following gas protect us from harmful rays of the sun? That is ozone layer. The next question is, the most important layer of the atmosphere is the first one, troposphere, because the air that we breathe, the oxygen that we are inhaling is present in this layer only. The next is, which of the following layer of the atmosphere is free from clouds, where clouds are not there, above troposphere, that is the stratosphere. As we go up the layer of atmosphere, the pressure decreases. I told you, highest air pressure will be at sea level, and as we start moving ahead, moving towards the height, air pressure decreases. Thereafter, when precipitation comes down to the earth in the liquid form, it is called rain. Then is your match the following. Trade winds are your permanent winds because they blow throughout the season. Then is Lu, I have given this example to you, that is an example of local wind. Then is monsoon, seasonal wind. Then is wind, that is the horizontal movement of air. Thereafter, students, give reasons are there. Wet clothes take longer time to dry on humid days. This also I told you. Why this is because? This is because in humid day the humidity is very high, that the level of water vapor in atmosphere is also high. Due to this, and when the level of water vapor is high, what will happen? the air cannot carry away more water vapors with it, and thus the clothes take longer time to dry on humid day. When wind will be blowing, only then clothes will get wet down. Now if wind is not there, then how clothes will get wet down? So that is the reason. And our next question is, amount of insulation decreases from equator towards pole. This I told you this concept. What is insulation? The amount of solar energy, the amount of sun heat that is reaching to the part of the earth surface is insulation. It increases towards equator and decreases towards pole because of the energy of the sun or because of the light of the sun. Insulation is increasing solar energy inscripted by the earth. Sunlight falls almost vertically on the equator, whereas it falls at some angles on the poles, and that is why the amount of insulation decreases from equator to poles. As soon as we started moving from equator towards pole, the amount of insulation decreases. And that's it about our chapter, students. I hope you understand the topic well and the chapter is very much clear to you. Thank you, students.